Join my Discord server, the link is down in the description. Yo, what's going on, you absolute legends, and welcome to this video, everybody. In this video, I'm going to be going over 5 of the best primary weapons in Pixel Gun 3D. Now, as you guys probably know, I've never done a video specifically about primary weapons out of the some 430 videos about Pixel Gun 3D that I've done on this channel, so I figured it's probably time to go ahead and pick up the pace here and start doing videos about primary weapons, because obviously primary is probably one of the most important categories in the entire game, considering the fact that most of the players who do play the game do not 3-cat spam, and therefore the most used category for them is going to be the primary category. So I figured I'd go ahead and make a video for you guys about primary weapons. Now, if you guys do enjoy this video, I'd very much appreciate if you could leave a like on it and also subscribe to the channel, because I do post videos every single day. Now, I want to inform everybody about a change that's going to be coming soon. I am going to be implementing more different games into my content, because I don't want to just do Pixel Gun 3D forever. However, I will be posting Pixel Gun 3D videos on the regular as well. So I don't want to keep you here any longer. Let's get into the video.
Check this.
So first up, guys, we're going to be talking about this weapon here, which is the Viking. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats of the weapon here. The weapon itself is a primary weapon of the mythical tier. It has a fire rate of 76, a capacity of 6, and a mobility of 65. Now, although the acid shotgun might seem like it has a faster fire rate, this weapon is in fact better because of its damage. Now, let's go ahead and finish talking about the stats before I talk about that part. Of course, this weapon is a shotgun. It has a bleeding effect, and it also has armor bonus. So, not only does it have an effect that drains the opponent's health, but it also has an effect that slowly but surely gives you some health back as well. So, that's something that's pretty interesting about this weapon. It'll give you some armor bonus. It'll give you some armor stuff back after you spawn in. You'll have some extra armor, so that's pretty good. Now, this weapon does one shot to the head as well as one shot to the body, and it is pretty good on range. A lot of shotguns, obviously, because they are a shotgun weapon, they don't have very good range, and their damage will diminish severely at a certain range. But this one, although it does diminish at a certain range, it does have a bigger range than most shotguns. This one can shoot up, I believe, to 40 feet before it starts to do 3 or 4 shot, and even then it's still extremely powerful. As you guys saw there, from there that's easily 30 feet, and it did 2 shot to the body, which is just great for a shotgun like this. It is, I believe this weapon is available in the craft section if you don't have it. It's 1,000 coupons to get, and I definitely recommend it because it does work well with 3-cat spam. As long as you use a non-delay weapon before it, it will work. So if you get a shot off with a really powerful sniper but it didn't finish them off, you can just switch over to the Viking and finish the job on them. Next up, guys, we're going to be talking about this really cool looking weapon here called the Pew Pew Rifle. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats of the weapon here. It is a primary weapon of the mythical tier, and unlike the previous one we talked about, this one is an assault rifle, not a shotgun. It has a fire rate of 98, which is near perfect, a capacity of 40, which is really high considering the fact that it has a 98 fire rate, and a mobility of 50. So you do have a pretty slow mobility with this weapon, but I guess that is so you can sort of balance the weapon out. This weapon would be extremely overpowered, even more than already is, if it didn't have that super slow mobility. So although it is 50, it's still sort of usable, so that's not something you really have to worry about. This weapon also is automatic, and it has random effect, and it has x-ray vision. Now, that random effect thing is going to be really good because it can give you poison, bleeding, or even fire effect all at the same time, or at different times. Of course, it gives you a random effect each time, which is really cool. So if you're not really fond of using poison effects, if you're not fond of using fire weapons, then you can just switch to a weapon like this, which has an ability that gives 4 different effects possible, and it's really cool. I don't know if it has the ability to do slowdown effect. I'm not sure if it's that good or not, but I know that this weapon is extremely powerful. As you guys can see here from these clips that is going on in the background, you can see how much damage this weapon does. It's extremely fast, guys. It does a lot of damage, and I believe it only takes 1.2 seconds in order for you to die after being hit with this weapon. It's super powerful. Although the previous weapon did look really cool, I believe that this one looks cooler, and this is the Eckodile rifle, guys. It looks like a dinosaur, and it honestly acts like one too. It's extremely powerful. It is a 4 shot to the body and a 2 or 3 shot to the head, depending on who you're fighting or the modules that you have. An opponent may have weaker armor than others, so this weapon can do a 2 shot to the head and a 4 shot to the body, and I believe it can be as strong as 3 shot to the body. Now, it has a fire rate of 94, although whenever I'm using it, it doesn't really feel like it shoots that fast. It has a capacity of 13, and a mobility of 55. It does not have any special effects though. It doesn't have fire, poison, or anything. So despite not having any special effects, guys, this weapon is extremely great. It functions so well. In fact, it feels more like a sniper than a primary weapon. I'm very surprised that this weapon classified as a primary weapon. To be honest, guys, it feels more like a weapon that's like the Splinter. If you guys know the Splinter, it takes 3 or 4 shots in order for them to die, and it has a pretty fast fire rate. That's pretty much how this thing feels, guys. It feels exactly like that, but in the primary category. And you guys would be really happy to know, for 3-cat spammers out there, this weapon doesn't have any delay, so you can incorporate this into your 3-cat loadout if you want. So like if you're using like all delay weapons, you can use this thing in the middle, and I don't think it gives or takes any delay. Don't quote me on that though, because I don't use it too often, but I do think that it works well for 3-cat spam. On top of that, guys, like I said, this weapon does have a 94 fire rate and really high capacity as well, meaning that you can shoot bullets all day without having to worry about reloading, since this weapon does shoot fast and it has 13 capacity, and you do so much damage you won't have to reload before you kill the enemy, which is always really good. Considering the fact that this is a really powerful weapon and it works well for 3-cat spam, and the fact that it's in the craft section, you should definitely go check it out and maybe even get it if you can. Next up, guys, we're going to be talking about this weapon here, which is called the Storm. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats of the weapon here. Mine is not at level 65, just keep that in mind. So if I shoot the friend that I'm with here, it won't kill them like as fast as it would on level 65 because mine's not maxed out. But let's look at the stats, guys. So this thing has a fire rate of 98, a capacity of 25, and a mobility of 65. It is a primary weapon of the mythical tier. It is an automatic weapon, and it also has area damage, and that's something that I want to talk about in a second. So obviously this weapon, guys, is extremely powerful. Just taking a look at these stats here, and for a weapon with 98 fire rate and 25 capacity, you think that the mobility would be around 50, but in fact it is around 65, which is good because that means that it's going to be even better than a weapon like the Eckodile rifle. However, this weapon does take 7 shots to kill someone instead of 4, but that's kind of okay because this weapon has area damage, so if you shoot around the opponent, it is going to do damage to them still. In fact, the damage drop off for the area damage is not that bad. Usually weapons that have area damage have a serious damage drop off, meaning that they won't do as much damage as if they were to get a direct hit. So this weapon, guys, doesn't have that much of a damage drop off. I believe it still does 7 shots to the body even though you're using area damage, and because of that, it's extremely powerful. However, one thing that's especially good to know about this weapon is that it's not going to be abused by someone who's 3-cat spamming because it does have a delay on it. In fact, if you were to switch from a weapon like the laser crossbow, for example, over to the Storm, you would get a little bit of an animation before you're able to shoot the weapon. And as you guys know, this weapon did used to have fixed delay, but after enough complaining, that was eventually removed, and I believe the weapon was nerfed a little bit. However, as you guys can see here from the clip that's playing here in the background, this weapon still is extremely powerful. The area damage is extremely powerful, especially on duels, because a lot of people will activate things like their jetpack, or they'll just rocket jump up in the air, and you'll be able to spray this thing, and then before you're even on the ground again, they'll be dead already, and that's really, really good. This weapon, I believe, is available in the craft section, and if it's not, that means that it's only available during limited time events, so this weapon might be a little bit harder to get than others, but if you are able to get it, or if you do have it, I would definitely recommend leveling it up to 65 because it's very, very good. So last, but certainly not least, guys, we'll be talking about the Ultimatum here, which is by far the best primary in the game. So looking at the stats here, guys, this is a primary weapon of the mythical tier, and this is a shotgun, and by far, this is probably the best shotgun in the game, along with the Masterpiece musket. Those are both extremely good shotguns, but this one in the primary category is probably the best primary weapon in the entire game. And the reason for that is, even at great distances, this weapon can still one-shot. It has a fire rate of 42 and a capacity of 1 and a mobility of 5. And the reason that the stats are so low is because of how powerful this weapon is. It is a shotgun with wall break too, meaning you can shoot through walls. And that's extremely powerful. If you ever finish off an enemy with a shotgun, sometimes you might have like a little bit of trouble shooting through the wall because obviously shotguns don't go through walls. However, this one does. This one is probably one of the coolest weapons that has ever been added to Pixel 3D, and it has been in the game for a very long time as well. And this weapon, guys, like I said, is the most powerful shotgun in the game. It does one shot to the head, it one shots to the body, and heck, it even one-shots to the toenails if that's where you shoot them. Even at great distances, guys, like I was talking about earlier, it does one-shot. It's extremely powerful, and it's also very hard to get. It's one of the most rare weapons that you can get for the primary category, but it does come in the trader's van every now and then. Anyway, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, make sure to let me know down in the comments, and also subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you did enjoy the video, as I do post content every single day about Pixel 3D. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Hey, do you have Discord? If so, you should definitely join the official Rebirth Discord. The link to it is down in the description. As of right now, we have nearly 2,000 members who are constantly looking for people to play with in the Pixel Gun 3D community. When you join, you can have easy communication with me and everyone else, and it's definitely a really good place to socialize. You know, there's always people who are looking for people to play with, there's always a bunch of good vibes going on, and yeah, this is definitely a good place for you if you have Discord, so what are you waiting for, man? Go join it.